Okay, so figurative language. This should be review, okay? It's nothing new, but figurative language shows up in literature and in poetry all the time. It is used to make the writing more interesting. It is used to make it flow better, to make it sound better to your ears. It's a stylistic choice. It can be used to get a point across, but it is so important that you understand what is what, okay? So, here we go. Figurative language goes beyond the literal meaning of words. So it's not simply just what I say, it's what I mean by saying it, okay? So, goes beyond the literal meaning of words. Let me zoom in. It's going outside of what the words mean by definition and giving them new meaning, okay? Or it's meant to be interpreted imaginatively. So you take what they say and you use your imagination to bring it to life, okay? So it is meant to be interpreted imaginatively. Okay? Writers use figurative language to create vivid pictures, ideas, and feelings. In the reader's mind. Okay? Some examples of figures of speech are similes, metaphors, personification, onomatopoeia, that's an A at the end there, guys. At the end, yes, that's an A. Alliteration. And hyperbole. Mm-hmm. Okay. Oh my goodness. All right. So when we're trying to understand figurative language, because again, you can't just read the words and take their literal meaning, because if it says it's raining cats and dogs and you think there's going to be a poodle and a Siamese kitty falling out of the sky, we got problems. Okay? You've got to take it and figure out what it is that they mean by it. Okay? So, to do this, we look for clues in the reading passage to help you figure out the author's message. Those clues might be in the sentence where the words are found, or just before or after the figurative language. Okay, what is a simile? Noah.
It's kind of like a metaphor, but it uses like
Kind of like a metaphor, but it likes to use or as. But what if I don't know what a metaphor is?
likes to use your ass.
What's it do?
A what?
What does it do?
Oh, it just compares
Compares what?
two things.
It compares two things using the words like or as. Absolutely right. So, a simile compares two things using the words like or as. Okay, some examples of that. Happy as a clown. I see that word as. Or they're like two peas in a pod. What does they're like two peas in a pod mean? They're really close. They're very similar. Cute as a puppy. Okay. What is another example? Friends, get on task. What is another example of a simile? Hot as the sun. Noah? Okay. Sticky as mud. Have you ever heard somebody say they're crazy as a loon? Oh. Let's see. Wild as a monkey. Wild like a monkey. What? Yeah. Okay. All of those are examples. So pick one example that you can think of from your brain, or use one of the ones we just said, and write it in the examples box. I do not need you to draw it. I simply need you to write it. Okay, metaphor. Now, Noah, when I asked you what a simile was, you said it's like a metaphor, except for it uses the words like or as. So if it's like a metaphor, then what is a metaphor?
His like his wouldn't really be
It compares two things using not.
It compares two things, but instead of using the words like or as, it says they are that thing. Okay? It's he is a lobster. What does it mean by saying he is a lobster?
He tastes good.
He's clingy.
Yes. He has big hands. Yes.
Freeze. Hang on.
Fishy.
Guys, if you go to the beach and you don't put on sunscreen,
Oh.
and somebody says you're a lobster, what are you saying, Arden? He's very red because he's burnt. Her heart was gold. What do they mean? Arden? Very giving, very generous and kind. Yes. Sadness is a black hole. Dylan?
Because a black hole is really sad. She's black in a hole.
Bryce?
Inescapable.
Inescapable. It's something you get stuck in and you can't get out.
Yeah.
Okay? So, metaphor. A metaphor compares two things by stating that one is another. Okay? And then in the box, write your own example of a metaphor. All right. Go to the page that says alliteration at the top. Alliteration.
No, it's alliteration.
Dylan. Okay. Anybody know what alliteration is? Sarah?
It's like a tongue twister, and all the words, or most of the words, start with the same letter.
Yes. Alliteration is where we repeat the first consonant sound in several words over and over and over again. So, Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled peppers. She sells seashells by the seashore. Those are examples of alliteration. Absolutely, guys. So, alliteration is the repetition of the first consonant sound. So we're not looking at vowel sounds, A, E, I, O, U. We're not looking at those. We're looking at the consonants. First consonant sounds in several words. Okay, when you're done, we're going to ignore where it says L and K. We're not going to play by their rules. I want you to write something that would qualify as alliteration. Okay, in the examples box. I'm sorry. Okay, down at the bottom, hyperbole. Do we know what that is? Noah. It's exactly what it is, Noah. And hyperbole is an outrageous exaggeration to make a point, okay? They can be ridiculous, they can be funny, but you're like going over the top. Oh my God, that class lasted 2 years. Okay. Yeah. I ate a whole cow for dinner. Those are all hyperboles. So, hyperbole. I'm going to turn this page a little bit sideways because I'm not very good at writing sideways. Hyperbole is an outrageous exaggeration that emphasizes a point. They can even be ridiculous or funny. Okay. So down at the bottom, one of the examples they gave us was our teacher gave us 2 years of homework tonight. Or your car is so old, there are hieroglyphics inside. Hieroglyphics are the Egyptian writing from ancient Egypt. Okay. So we need some more examples, but they gave us some starters. So she is so smart. We can't say she's like Albert Einstein because,
She's so smart. She looks like one of those Airhead commercials.
you know. But we could use Einstein. She's so smart. Einstein
Chatting with her?
looks like a dummy next to her. She's so smart. Her head's about to explode. Yeah. Yeah, any of that would work. Pick what you want and write it. Okay. Your locker is so messy.
It's causing pollution.
I could get lost in there. It's causing pollution. What? It looks like a tornado went through. Okay. Pick what you want to be your hyperbole for that example and write it. All right. Last page. It says personification at the top. La-di-da. There we go. Okay. All right. What is personification? Yes. Personification gives human characteristics to inanimate objects, animals, or ideas. So it's not just inanimate objects. It's a talking dog. It's a dancing dinosaur. Okay? When we give human characteristics to anything that is not human. Okay? So, personification gives human characteristics to inanimate objects. That means things that aren't alive. Animals. Or ideas. Okay, an example of an idea getting personified. Opportunity knocked on the door. Opportunity is an idea. Can it walk up to a door and knock on it? No. Yes. Okay. The wind waves goodbye. Does the wind have a hand to wave with? No. Okay. How could I personify shoes? The shoes, not me running. Okay. Okay. Your shoes are talking. Your shoes walked away. If my kids can't find their shoes in the morning, well, baby, did your shoe get up and walk away? There you go. How can I personify the sun?
The sun was smiling.
The sun was smiling at me this morning. Okay. Write one example for either shoes or sun. I don't care which, but one example for one of them. All right, down at the bottom. Onomatopoeia. What is onomatopoeia? You guys should know this one well. Remember, I had to train it out of you to stop using it at the beginning of essays. Noah. It's a sound word. Yeah. Onomatopoeia is words that sound like their meaning or words that mimic sounds. Woof, meow, moo, ow. I don't know how you'd spell that though. A-H.
I thought it was owl.
No, I meant O.
The sound an owl makes. Hoo. Okay. Any word that mimics the sound you're trying to make. Okay. Boom, clash, bang. Okay. So, onomatopoeia. onomatopoeia. Good gracious. Onomatopoeia is the use of words that sound like their meaning or words that mimic sounds. Okay? Once you have that definition written, write your examples over under where it says more examples. Wake up call to the world. Yes, that's a Rice Krispie treat. Okay, you should have glue at your seat.
Yes.
You're going to glue this in order of how we just did it. So, figurative language comes first. That's going to be page 39. Alliteration, baby. Okay. Figurative language is page 39. Simile is page 40. Alliteration is 41. And personification is 42. If you're using my glue, use it quick and come put it back so that someone else who needs it can get it. Okay? And here. What? Figurative language is 39. So we've got 39 is figurative language. $40 is simile and metaphor. On the back side of the page.
Oh, that's nice.
41 is alliteration and hyperbole. And 42 is personification and onomatopoeia. Okay?